Hello all, and welcome back to Harrison Fashion today. Today we will be running through how to prep your fabric for your hand stitch samples. So first thing, I have my 10 by 10 square piece of fabric, and I have 2 layers of it. Okay, I have a little bit of the prep work done, which I will go through in a second. And then the next thing I have are irons, and I have it on number 4, which is a cotton setting. That is what I will be sticking with. I shouldn't really need to use my sprayer or my steam button at all. So first things first, we're going to do, and I've already laid it out a bit, as we have our 10 by 10 piece out here, I'm going to measure an inch in from the left hand side, and I'm going to, with my seam gauge, and I'm going to take my fabric pencil. Must be a fabric pencil, so that is key. And I'm going to put a little line there. If you do not have a fabric pencil, you can use one of the fabric soluble pens, or you can also use the tailor's chalk too. And then I'm going to go about halfway down, put another mark, all the way down towards the bottom, put another mark at 1 inch, okay? Then the second mark I'm going to do on the left hand side is 2 inches in, so I'm going to mark it down below, in the middle, and up top, okay? And I've already done that myself too here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that piece of the fabric and right on those first marks, they're a little hard to see, but I do have my blue little pencil chalk marks right in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that piece in right on those dots, so then my edge right here should be touching the next chalk mark. So it's folded right on the first chalk mark, and it's actually touching the second chalk mark, which is 2 inches in. So I have one fold there, okay, and then I'm going to fold it in again, okay, right at that second chalk mark. So I have like 2 inches folded in. I've got 1 inch here, and I folded it, and then I've got a 2nd inch, folded in. Okay, and then once I have that all set, my iron's getting a little angry with me because I haven't used it in a little bit. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my iron, I'm going to take the tip of my iron, and I'm just going to smooth it out up top and get the lower edge right down to the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to do my next side. Okay, same thing. I'm going to measure in at 1 inch and 2 inches, put marks there. Halfway down, same thing, 1 inch, 2 inches. All the way down, 1 inch, 2 inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold that side. So I fold it in 1 inch once, and I touch that side edge right to the chalk line. And then I go ahead and I fold it in again 1 inch. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing. This part wouldn't be done yet on the opposite side, but I just have some pre-creases to make this easier to show you. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, iron that down, the tip of my iron, all the way down. So I have some nice crease lines. Okay, then what I'm going to do, flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on the back side, 1 inch in, 2 inches in, and then fold it. Double fold, iron, same on the right hand side, 1 inch in, 2 inch in, mark it 3 times, and fold it. Okay, when you're doing this on your own, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful with it because I already have it pre-folded. I got the little nitty-gritty out of the way, so you will have to be a little bit more careful than I am with this. Okay, and I got those nice and ironed down. So I did that to both pieces. So this is what the back side looks like with it folded in on each side. And this is my front side with it also folded in. So they're identical. Now what I'm going to do is I want to start drawing my lines for my sample piece. So on the left hand side, what I did is I measured 3 marks again. Okay, So I measured about an inch up from that fold and I put a mark. So an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and then 3.5. So there's 4 marks. Then I'm gonna do that a couple more times. I actually ended up doing it 4 times on here just to be play it safe. So 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 3.5 inch. Then I did it again and again. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to go ahead, you can just do this with a ruler or so, but I have a nice fancy larger ruler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up with my first line. I have all those markings. You're actually going to get a regular pen. Okay, so instead of with our water soluble pen or chalk pencils and such, we are going to use a regular pen. And I'm going to start at 2 inches and I'm going to go all the way down to 8 inches. Okay, so 2 inches, follow that line. There we go. All the way down to 8. Okay, alrighty. So I have one line about 6 inches long on that first inch in. Then I'm going to go ahead, do another one on inch 2. Making sure that it's lined up at every mark. Yes, it is. Start at 2, go all the way down. Okay, I'm just having to do it a little bit slowly at a time. As you can see, I'm kind of going back and forth with it. My ironing board is just a little cushier, so it helps when I do that. And then my last 2 lines, from inch 2 all the way down to inch 8. This is going to help prep the lines so that when I show you guys how to do each stitch, it'll give us a nice, even, solid line to follow so that our stitches can be nice and straight. Start at inch 2 with my 4th line, go all the way down to 8 inches. So that gives us 6 inches to stitch on. Alrighty, so I have my lines pretty nicely there. I did about 1 inch in, another inch, so 1 inch, then at 2 inches, and then at 3 inches and 3.5. Okay, so that is about what I've got right there. And that is how we prep our fabric for our hand sewing samples. Okay.